I don't know. I'm mostly just microphone these days. It's cool. Anyway, this is the first podcast of 2018.
Our 2018th podcast.
That's not how it works.
59?
Absolutely not how it works. No. It is episode 59. Yeah. I am Cliff
Close
Johnson.
I'm rounding up. I'm the Dylan.
He's the Dylan. The Adam is still not here. We love him anyway. He's just going to have to talk about the games we're looking forward in 2018 by himself next week. He's going to do the podcast by himself next week. I think it's only fair.
Yeah. We tried to wait for him, but we just couldn't contain ourselves.
We just
any
could not
longer.
contain ourselves.
We had to let it out.
It's so exciting.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot
of
stuff.
Things. We love stuff and things.
I am a huge fan of stuff and things. So I guess this week we're going to talk about some video game addiction, whether that's real or not. One of my favorite titles of an article that I've seen the last little while is written by Gizmodo. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about swatting people and how you should stop it, you stupid gamers. And then we're going to talk about games of 2018, answer a couple questions from Vinny and Joe Coleslaw and my friend Mansocks, talk cheap free games, and then that'll do it. Our list of games from 2018 is long, so that's going to be primarily...
Lots of discussion.
Lots of discussion. It's going to be good. So that's... let's start out with what you're playing. Do you want to tell me what you're playing?
I can definitely do
You can
that.
start.
Where do I start? I'm going to start with Don't Starve.
It's a good place.
Because apparently I've put in over 50 hours into this game.
Holy crap, really?
Since I got it on the Steam sale, which is kind of a lot.
Or did you just leave it running overnight one time?
No.
Wow.
I've really been playing.
50 hours.
That's probably accounts a very small amount of it, like leaving it on and walking away for a few minutes, but not overnight, no. I've definitely played it a lot, and it's taken me that long to get through winter. It doesn't take 50 hours to get through winter, but that's how many times I've had to restart.
Do it. Wow. How many hours?
I mean, learn.
How much playtime is it to get through winter?
You know, I feel like I can get to winter in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours of playing. So,
like a single playthrough, 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours to get to winter, and then winter is another hour and a half on top of that. I think the winter season is a little shorter than the summer seasons, which is hard to tell exactly when it starts because it starts getting cold. So it doesn't keep track of, it's not a game based on day-night cycles or anything? Or? It does have a day-night cycle, and then at day 21-ish, it starts getting cold, and then it starts snowing. So I'm not quite sure exactly how long the day is, how many minutes it is.
Sure.
And then that's broken down into daylight, dusk, nighttime, and then it gets bright. And the closer it is to winter, the longer the night is, and the longer dusk is.
Oh,
so
God, that's cool.
It's pretty neat, and it definitely... Obviously, you need more wood during the winter because you need more light, because you don't want to be stuck in total darkness. But it's really nice when you finally get out of the winter and you have more daylight again.
I feel that way exactly right now.
Winter is very difficult, though. It is challenging. So it took me that many playthroughs to not survive winter to really learn how to stockpile enough things because berries don't grow in the winter. If they're on the bush, you can go pick them, but once they're picked, they're not going to grow again.
You have to make a cellar to store your...
It takes about 5 days to grow berries. So once it's after about day 15,
you're screwed.
If you pick a berry, it's not going to grow back before.
Wow.
So learning these little tricks, and yeah, I wasn't actually able to find the robots this game, so I wasn't able to get the gears to build the ice box.
Sure.
But that's generally a very helpful way to store things. However, I built a lot of crock pots and a lot of jerky racks, and those are able to, cook really good meals. And you can, if you leave them on the crock pot, they won't spoil once you take them off. Sure. So the same with the jerky rack. So you can hang the meats and let them dry out, and they'll stay fresh until you pick them off.
That's crazy.
And I think they spoil at a very low rate because they're jerky.
Yeah.
And so learning, and then replanting, digging up and fertilizing berry bushes and creating your own little berry bushery. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know if that's a real word, but
it's most definitely not.
I had 20 berry bushes that I replanted near my thing, and then I got attacked by the wolves or dogs or boars or whatever they are. The
evil critters.
The evil critters that went around, and somehow they lit fire to my berries, and I was really upset because they were separated, so they only burned a little over half my berries. Yeah. So I still managed to have enough food for winter. I lucked out this time. I had a much better map than the one I had before.
Oh, is the map like
the map's
procedural?
all procedural,
Oh,
so
that's
each time you
cool.
play, it's gonna be completely different. And the one I had before, when I almost made it through winter, it was sprawling. Like
Sure.
you were constantly between two waters, and like it took you so long to get anywhere, and it was very challenging to really, because once you had winter, you only have so much time that you can be away without lighting fires along the way to keep warm.
Yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't get anywhere to get more food.
Sure.
And I just ran out of food, basically.
That's crazy.
And then had to take desperate measures when I needed food, and then I couldn't actually fight the things.
Yeah.
This time I'm choosing my battles wisely. I've killed a bunch of spiders, getting rid of the spiders, getting all that silk, because the silk's really helpful. You'll learn because you can make a tent. You can make the poofy vests and stuff to keep warm in the winter. You can use the silk for a lot of helpful things. And yeah, I really enjoy this game. But I'm like out of winter now, and I'm good.
That's
so it's
crazy.
like I'm gonna have a whole nother season to really explore and build up more farms, build up more berries, and see what happens in season 2.
So I assume, can you save in the middle of a game?
Yeah, it constantly is saving, but once you die, you start over.
Yeah.
You don't get to restart at your last save or anything. So
I'm
that's
about
why
those.
if you bash your head against the table too much, you're not gonna want to keep playing this game.
Yeah.
But if you keep learning and really, okay, I know how to get to the next thing, because I think the first winter is the hardest. After that, the game should, in theory, get easier
Sure.
as civilization tends to be. The more we can be self-sustaining, the easier it will
yeah.
get. But I'm sure there's going to be more aggressive things later on. But I think there's going to be a lot of potentially cool things that you'll get to discover.
So can you beat this game, or is it just like, do you think it just goes on forever?
I think it goes on until you die. There are like boss type things. Like you do find tracks, and you can track the Qualiphant and kill the
The
Qualiphant
Qualiphant, you say?
to get his trunk, which makes the poofy vest or the breezy vest.
Sure.
And then if you hunt the winter Qualiphant, then you can make the puffy jacket.
Ah.
That's warmer.
Yeah.
So there's things like that, and then there's caves. So you can find caves and go spelunking. And caves are also nice in the winter because, as we know, underground, it doesn't get colder.
Sure.
Underground is always the same temperature.
It's always cold.
It's always cold, but it's not freezing
Cooler,
necessarily.
yeah, sure.
Whatever I can't remember what the temperature is, but that's
Yeah,
how
68
geothermal
degrees or
heating for
something.
houses works.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. I want you to play the Flame and the Flood at some point, because I think it's a very similar game loop. And I've heard good things about it. So
yeah, it's
interesting.
fun, and I think the artwork is initially what drew me to the game.
Yeah, it's
So
got a great aesthetic.
Yeah, it's really
Great
cool,
aesthetic.
and like just the thing like the Qualiphant and the beefaloes, like it has this funny, quirky style to it that's really enjoyable. But I think there's so much to the game, and I want to try Don't Starve Together now.
Yeah,
I think
that'd be fun.
one of my buddies is going to play with me, and apparently he told me that he's played it a little bit. Is when you start that, you don't actually start together.
Oh,
you have
you
to find each other
Oh, geez.
by describing the map and where you are.
Oh man,
Who knows how big it is or how close you are?
that's crazy.
Yeah. So if you start going the opposite direction,
You're just screwed.
oh no.
Wow,
So
that's fun. That's
But-
really fun. It sounds like a good time.
it sounds like a lot of fun. And other than that, which I've spent most of my time playing, I have played Arena of Valor a lot.
Nice.
On the mobile phone.
I've heard of those.
And it works really well. Like it plays really well. I'm very impressed for a MOBA on a cell phone.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. And it plays so much faster. If you're interested in MOBAs, highly recommend it. Like it just seems to control very easy, and
Sure.
it does a lot for you.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of the hard part for me about playing like League of Legends is the mouse, because it's such precise and fast mouse movements. But a lot of this is fluid because your thumb is what's kind of using this virtual joystick, so the movement's much more fluid, and it's
How
not
do you
so
feel
much
about
about.
that? So I'm a huge not fan of virtual joysticks. Does
Yeah.
it work okay?
It works really well in this case, I think, just because it's that top down and you're just moving one way or the other. So
Yeah.
whichever way your thumb kind of slides is the
That
direction.
works.
There's no really speed involved. It's either you're going right, left, up, down.
Sure.
So it works pretty well. And it works opposite for your attack. So if you have skill shots where you have to like choose a direction or spot to land, it just works by moving your thumb around the opposite side of the screen, and you can see the little template kind of moving around. So it works really well, and it'll help you kind of understand the MOBA style. And I found out more that Tencent, who does Arena of Valor, owns Riot Games, who does League of Legends. So that's why this game is literally a clone. A lot of the characters are similar. Some characters even have the same name. Some of the items are nearly identical.
So it's literally just like a mobile clone of League.
It is, and and I think it is a little simplified though. But apparently, like, Batman is also playable. Like, there are DC characters in this game that will later be released. They're just not in North America yet. So, like, it has that draw to it, too.
How cool is that?
And it's fun, and it is a good game. So, if you're looking to introduce yourself to a MOBA and you're a little nervous to jump in on a PC, I recommend it. And like the 5v5 mode, which is your typical mode, probably lasts 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, see, that's good.
And if you just play the 3v3, which is like one lane, one tower, and the base, you can sometimes, if you're good in Snowball, it's 3 minutes, and like the long game is going to be 6.
Wow.
So, and that helps you really learn different characters, because the loop to keep doing it, and you're not going to feel so bad when you lose, because you only spent 4 minutes losing, than spending 45 minutes losing on League of Legends, which I think is what separates really frustrating games of MOBAs. Like, it's very satisfying when you win, but when you spend 55 minutes losing, that's really hard to swallow, and that's when you start getting mad and you start raging and you walk away and you're not having fun and you uninstall, as people tend to do when they rage on games. But I think it's a really good game.
That's cool.
I'm going to keep playing it. I'm having
Maybe I'll give it a try. Can I play that on my iPad?
I think so, yeah.
Phones are a little small, but
it is a little small, but it works really well. But the iPad might be a lot of fun. You might just get to see a little bit.
My phone lately's been garbage too.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna see if it's on my iPad too and give that a try to see if it works. If your iPad's not too heavy, an iPad Mini would be perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
I've always wanted one, but never really needed.
Yeah, I've got the Kindle Fires that are that size.
Yeah, they're really good. It's a nice size, but if you already have the full size,
not much reason to. Yep, I heard
But then, aside from that got me to boot up League of Legends and get it updated to the current Season 7 stuff. And I kind of played around a little bit, because they revamped the game at some point and changed the rune system, which the rune system that used to be in League is exactly how it is in Arena of Valor, which you have, I don't remember exactly how many rune slots for your like attack, defense, and utility kind of trees. That's not the exact language, but your attack damage, your armor, and your whatever. That system I never really liked too much. It's something that allowed you to change your attacks and your certain stats by up to like 5%, or your cooldown speeds, or whatever it is. And it was so like, to me it's very nitpicky for like, and it's really fine tuning for someone who just casually wants to play a game, but it is something that might separate or make you feel like good players are going to be separated from casual players. Whether that's, I mean, those small details do matter at some degree, but at the same time they're very minute. But it is, some people really like that kind of tweaking. In this, it's a lot more streamlined. Like, you pick a main one that has 4 things. So you have like 12 options, and you pick 4 things that you want your character to do. And then you have a secondary one that gives you like 2 more abilities.
Sure.
So it's much more simple. It's more like, get bonus attack damage, get bonus this, get bonus that, rather than saying like, I get 3 attack damage runes, 3 attack speed runes, or whatever it is. It's just a little simpler, and I like that.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
It's just going to take a little bit of relearning, but I'm going to try to jump back into that a little bit. I'm excited for that. And then PUBG, of course.
Of course.
So,
you guys ate chicken last week?
No, we got second place.
No chicken for you.
It's the longest streak we haven't. I at least haven't. I know everyone else has been playing without me, because I end up being the 5th man a lot of the time by the time I get on.
Gotta start just playing singles.
Yeah, I started dibsing.
Yeah.
I dibs that fourth spot. No, I should play more singles, but it's more fun in squads.
Yeah.
We had a really good game, though, and just happened to take second where we made a bad play at the end, and it
Happens, you know.
we learned from it, so don't do that again. But the game was actually playing like turd for me when we were last playing it. Like, it wasn't running really well, which was weird because the other time I played it was like, this is the best it's ever ran. So, ebbs and flows as life. So, I won't spend too much time
Talking PUBGs.
Yeah, and the performance, because we know it's all over the place sometimes, but it's getting better. The trend is getting better, so it's something to look forward to.
That's cool.
And now I will pass the torch.
Woo! In our last episode, I decided, I think Vinny actually asked what game we were going to play. What was our kind of New Year's game? What we were going to play between over the holiday, and in kind of I think someone else asked, what was the game we were going to beat in 2018 that we'd started in 2017, and my answer to both of those was The Witcher 3. I've been playing it for, probably a year and a half now.
That's so long to play anything.
And I kind of go in streaks where I'll play it a ton for a little bit and then just kind of fade off for a little bit, and I'll come back and play it, for a week or two. But that game's gotta be, I think just the main line of that game is probably 60 hours, I've got to guess. So that's a big game for me to, I best of times I can play maybe an hour and a half a day. And so, even if I did that every single day of the week, that's still a game that's going to take me 2.5 months to beat. And so, spread out over a little while is fine. And it's a game that's pretty easy to hop back into. It does a pretty good job of showing you where your quests are and where you need to go next. So, played a lot of Witcher 3, was really feeling like everything's building. You're getting all your companions together to do this big mission. You're gonna finally fight these evil bad guys that kidnapped your kind of protege, and everything's coming to a head. And then the battle ended, and it didn't end the game. And I was like, what's going on? Like, that was the end, right? And apparently that was just the end of Act 2 of the game. There's an entire third act that I'm now playing. So I've got to assume I've got another, 10 or 20 hours left in this game that I thought I was almost done with. So I'm still having a great time. I'm still playing it in God mode because I just don't want to deal with crap. It lets me avoid a lot of the systems and lets me just kind of play the story of the game. It's fun. It's got a great story. It's got great characters. Great action. It's just really enjoyable. I am going to, probably after I finish it, I am either going to talk about or write up kind of I think the version of the game I want to play is the Witcher, parent mode, where there's less running and less
fast travel.
Yeah,
or they shrink the map by 60%.
Something.
It just goes.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of things that I've been kind of formulating in my head that I want games to add. I literally want to do you have one or more children? You hit that button, it goes, we've got you here.
We know what to.
And I think it could make that game a lot better for people like me. I'm sure there are people that just want to grind the crap out of The Witcher and play it and its expansions and play 200 hours of The Witcher, and geez, I salute you. And there was a time when I was young and didn't have a job and a wife and a kid and wasn't going to school and didn't have all sorts of other crap that I had to do that I would have too, and that time is not now anymore. So played a lot of The Witcher. It's really fun. I also kicked on Shadows of War, which I rented because I watched a dude on one of the Microsoft channels play it for 2 or 3 hours after I played Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of Mordor did not click with me at all. Just didn't enjoy it. Died a lot. Couldn't figure out what I was doing. Didn't seem to give me any real direction. And so I tried Shadow of War, just rented it from GameFly, and had a really good time with it. I played it for probably, I'd say, an hour and a half, and it seemed to push you into the world a lot more gently, where it was okay, so you're in this place, kill some guys. Here's how you sneak around. Okay, now you can possess this guy, you can get stuff out of him, and then it pushed you into a little bit bigger world, and now you've got to sneak around this camp. And now we're putting you in even a bigger world, and it just kind of guided me in a little bit better. I I'm way better at the stealth in this game. The other one, it seemed like I was trying to be stealthy, and I was just constantly being seen. I don't know if it's because the game's better. I don't know if it's because I'm better.
I didn't feel the stealth sections weren't. Not that they were true stealth sections, because it was a choice, right? You can try to be stealthy. Or, I mean, in some cases, you might have had to be
I think
stealthy,
you kind of... I mean, I think the game wants you to be stealthy.
Right.
But the first one, I just wasn't very good at it. And so I was constantly, this game, oftentimes it'll be me. If I fail in the stealth section, it's me versus 4 guys or me versus 5 guys. And with the way the mechanics and the stuff in that game works, you can easily fight 4 or 5 guys and win. Yeah. And it seemed in the first one I'd fail stealth, and all of a sudden it was me versus 25 guys.
Right.
And then I'd die. And then I'd try and get back to the same place. It's me versus 25 guys again. And then, oh crap, it's me versus like one of the warlord
two of the bosses.
Captains you're trying to do. Oh, and then I pulled another boss in. I died and died and died and died and died and died. And this one I've not died at all yet. And it's just I don't know if it's a difference in difficulty or if it's a difference in just how the gameplay works out, but it's been a lot more enjoyable. So it's I hear it's long. I think it's another one of those like 50 or 60 hour games, and I can't imagine I'm going to actually want to put that much time into it. But it might be a game that I have fun with for 10 or 15 hours, kind of feel the gameplay, kind of figure out how the Nemesis system works, put some time into it. I don't think I'll beat it, but it's a good distraction. It's a good game to kind of know how it works because it's a lot of people talk about it. So we'll see. Anyway, would you like to talk about some
news?
News.
Kind of.
Not much news.
Yeah,
and
not
the
much
news we have
news.
is
It's
really
big
bad.
news, and it's not the most fun news, other than what's to come.
Yeah, we'll
for
talk
video
about
games next year. But
that's going to be fun. It's the rest of the news that's kind of crappy. So we're going to start off with video game addiction. Is it real or is it Memorex? Is that how it goes?
I think so.
I think so. I'm sure you've heard, and I'm sure you will continue to hear as more traditional news picks this up, that the World Health Organization, WHO, is going to officially recognize what they're referring to as video game addiction as part of their international classification of diseases. So it's a kind of a guidebook that the WHO puts together every once in a while. It's they get together, they put it together, and then they release it, and then they kind of start pushing it out into the wild. And they're putting video game addiction into this, and it's one of those kind of things that the unfortunate part of it is what you're going to hear on the news is a bunch of super concerned parents and super concerned news anchors going like, oh my God, video game addiction, it's a problem. My kid plays 3 hours of video games a day and he doesn't want to do anything else. Of course not. Like if I had the choice of going to work every day, or playing video games, guess what I'd want to do? And that's the unfortunate side effect of this is that it's going to, because you hear this in all sorts of other things, people that have these kind of like quote unquote addictions to things that aren't actually really addictive. And because someone somewhere said, oh, this is an addiction, then all of a sudden people are self-diagnosing things, or their parents or spouses are, saying, oh, he's addicted to X. And that's the downside of things like this actually coming out. The upside of this is what it does enable is it enables people, like when you actually talk to the people at the WHO, they're like, oh, no, this isn't, your kid who likes to play Minecraft. This isn't your husband who wants to come home and play, Call of Duty for 2 hours. It's not those people. It's the people that, it drastically affects their real life. They're talking it's 1%,
like
less
gambling
than 1%.
Or like these things that affect other areas of your life because you're doing something.
Yeah, you're losing your job because you can't stop playing video games. And they said really a lot of what it actually points to, and I think this is true of a lot of addiction, is it's not necessarily that you're addicted to video games and you can't stop. It's that you have a problem in your life, be that depression or stress or, all these other things in your life. Life, yeah. 2017 was hard, yo. And the way you deal with those is by retreating into a video game world. And
you end up preferring that over
the real
your
world.
normal
And
world.
I know that's one of the reasons I play video games, is it helps me deal with stress. It helps me deal with those kind of things. And if you can do that and say, I'm only doing it for a couple hours, that's healthy. If you're doing it, 22 hours a day so you can avoid real life, that's when it becomes a problem. And that's hopefully what this is going to help. The nice thing about this is it gets a number into like billing systems that psychiatrists use. And so literally, if you have those problems, you can get the help you need, and maybe your insurance will pay for it. It's not Billy that wants to play Minecraft instead of doing his homework. That's just a kid who hates homework. It's not me who wants to play video games instead of mowing the lawn. Yeah. It's just mowing the lawn sucks. Like, I don't know if you do that, but so, I hire a guy and play video games now. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, definitely their intention isn't bad with this, right? And sure, like, is there potentially an issue out there like this? Sure, there is, but it just stinks sometimes when we don't necessarily label things the correct way. And as a culture, we definitely, I think, have a really bad habit of needing to label and define literally everything. And it can't just be Billy who just wants to go play some video games, and now Billy's addicted to video games. It's like, no, maybe Billy just is lazy. Yeah. Like, who knows? Like, I wish I was allergic to work, right? So I didn't have to do it because it was like doctor's order, right?
And I think that's the thing that worries me, is that it's just going to be that, tonight on, News at 10, is your kid addicted to video games? Like, I can see that headline.
It sounds so silly.
And all of a sudden there's going to be this moral panic over whether your kid's addicted to video games or not.
And it's like, no, he's not.
It's just, and the science is kind of not there. Really. I mean, the studies that they've done on video game addiction are very contradictory. There's been very few follow-up studies. So, it's definitely, it's something that probably, I don't want to say it's a bad thing that it was being done, because I think there are upsides to it. I think it's just people need to be very careful and pay attention to what researchers are saying. No, your kid shouldn't be playing video games 12 hours a day. But, if on a Saturday and it's raining outside, your kid wants to play video games for 6 hours and he got all his homework done and the dishes, dishwasher's unloaded, who cares? Right. It's not the end of the world.
Well, that's the funny thing is like, Billy didn't do 30 minutes of chores today. He just played video games. Well, what if Billy did his 30 minutes of chores first and then played 6 hours of video games? You wouldn't care because he just did his chores.
Exactly.
And it really didn't interfere with anything. So at the end of the day, I think it's just a procrastination problem.
And the reality is Billy, that's the other thing I always hear is, kids, when I was a kid, and, same thing when I was a kid, I played outside a lot more, but the video games weren't as fun. But, when I was a kid playing video games, I was playing by myself most of the time. I might have had a friend over. Most games weren't even co-op. They were, Mario, where, hey, I take a turn, and then you take a turn, Nowadays, my kid might be online socializing with 10 other kids his age, talking about Minecraft, building these amazing things, or doing games that are, expanding, his knowledge of, how to build things in spatial relations and cause and effect and strategy and, things that really make you think. With friends, my kid's got a bunch of friends that he goes to school with that he plays Minecraft with, or he plays Roblox with, and it's not significantly different than if they were sitting around playing Monopoly, or if they were sitting around, if anything, sometimes they, I think, are better for your actual mind. So, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. We'll keep an eye on it.
Studies like this don't necessarily take that into account, do they?
Nope.
It's like, it doesn't matter what the benefit is of you doing this, because there obviously is a benefit. And sure, staring at a screen for 6 hours is not good for your eyes.
Nope.
But, I mean, neither is being out in the sun for...
Right.
Literally everything we do is killing us. Like, the day we're born, we're dying from that point forward. Like,
God, this is a cheery episode, man.
Like, it's just
what it is, Like, everything in moderation, and
be a well-rounded person. Don't do any one thing all the time. I think that's really the moral of the story.
So play first-person shooters. So play role-playing games.
Play all different games.
Survival games.
And sometimes get crazy and bust out chess and just play a game of chess.
Yeah, chess is okay.
If you're crazy.
No, battle chess.
Battle chess.
That's where it's at. Did you ever play battle chess?
I don't know if I've played battle chess.
It was a game probably in the mid-90s where it was just chess, but when your pieces, got to where you take one, they would fight, and one piece would kill the other piece.
Oh, so you could potentially get into an attack and lose?
No, but it was fun, and the animations were cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got it.
It was all right.
It's kind of like Lego chess on the computer.
Yeah. Except they were kind of
Or Wizard's Chess if it's Harry Potter.
very much like Wizard Chess, but the graphics weren't as good as Wizard Chess.
No.
It's the 90s. What do you do? It's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on to our next cheery topic. So you've probably heard about this by now. Two Call of Duty players were being stupid, as Call of Duty players and other online gamers tend to be often, and were threatening each other and saying horrible things about each other, and Call of Duty probably using horrible racist things and calling each other's mothers various awful things. And one of them threatened to SWAT the other one, which I guess if you don't know is calling the local police and saying, "Oh my God, there's a person murdering another person," or "Oh my God, a person at this address has kidnapped someone," or "They've got a hostage," or another terrible thing. Then the police show up and they, throw a flashbang through your door and bad things happen. This happens
more than it should.
Way more than it should. It's been a form of harassment, like it was kind of like Gamergate's method of being horrible, and everyone has always said, like, this needs to stop, because if it doesn't, somebody's going to get killed. And unfortunately, that guy's name was Andrew Finch, and he lived in Wichita, Kansas. And these two Call of Duty players got out of hand, and one said, "I'm going to SWAT you," and the other one gave a fake address, and it unfortunately was where this poor guy lived. Police showed up. The guy was freaked out, came out on his door, and they killed him. And the fact that someone died over a Call of Duty game is the most obscene.
And they had absolutely nothing to do with this.
Nothing to do with it. It was absolutely just insane. And Jesus, we got to stop doing this. Like, I don't. If you're so upset that the only way you can deal with it is to, do something that's going to accidentally get someone killed, then maybe go to our last segment about your video game addiction and just stop playing.
Right.
Because I don't care how tilted you get, that's never acceptable.
Right. And yeah, going back to our last topic, it's like this is not a video game problem. This is a problem, a human problem.
Yeah.
It's not. This has nothing to do with Call of Duty. This
No.
has nothing to do with a game. Like, this is
Stupid people
it's
being
hard
stupid.
to really. I don't even know what to say about this kind of stuff.
Right? It's just crazy. It's crazy to me that swatting people has become a way to deal with people you don't agree with.
Right.
I don't like what you're saying about X, and my way of
Good or
trolling
bad,
you.
like-
Yeah. My way of trolling you is by
Sending special forces.
sending
to your
special
house.
forces to your house. And, with as militarized as the police are these days in America, it's just a matter of time until someone dies.
Yeah.
And like I said, and it's happened now. And, the terrible thing is this guy's dead. The person who called them is going to go to jail. You know that, I mean...
And what could, and someone gave that person a fake address.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of people were at fault here. I mean, not to say like you giving a fake address means someone should send special forces to that house. Like,
No.
that's not, it's not one person's fault. It's a lot of people's fault.
Yep.
And don't give your address out
No.
to any stranger ever. Don't give anyone
Don't
else's
give anyone else's
don't
address.
give that kind of information out ever.
If you think this is a good idea, just get off the internet. You'll be better off.
And if you're playing games, don't talk about the game. You shouldn't be talking about really anything else. It's great to get to know strangers online. Like, you might meet some great people out there, but like, talk business. Like, when you're playing games, like how it degrades and devolves to this kind of thing.
I just don't. I mean, I guess that's the thing is,
so
it's like
foreign.
You'd never do this in real life. I mean, like, I played a lot of basketball, and I know you did too. And we played
Right.
not just like basketball teams, but we played street basketball.
Right.
You know?
And yeah, I've seen some stuff.
And I've seen some fights break out, and I've seen some people call each other terrible names.
I've seen cops have to come
Yeah,
a
but
few times.
it was never like, I'm going to call someone to your house so they might, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
So don't let your games get that way. But let's talk about better things. Let's talk about great video games. What do you think?
Yeah, but please.
Yeah. This has been a downer. All right, so it's now 2018, as we said. I'm very excited about that, I guess. 2017 was kind of lame. 2018 might be better.
Great games. I enjoyed 2017.
Oh, man, from a gaming perspective, I don't know. Probably, it's been at least 11 years. 2006 was a really, really great year in games, I think.
I don't remember that year.
Yeah, it's
When
because
was
you
that?
were 11. You were 11.
I was 14.
God, you're so young. Dylan couldn't drive, and I had graduated high school 10 years before.
Living the high life.
Anyway, we have picked our, it's a real round number, our top 28 games of...
For 2018.
No, actually, that was pretty smart.
18. Yeah. I did that on purpose.
Yeah, all those 8s. Anyway, I think we're just going to run through the list and talk about why we're interested in them, what systems are coming out for, why you should be on the lookout for these, and whether or not, I guess, we think if they'll actually make it in 2018. As of right now, all of these have at least a coming out in 2018 release date. So we'll see. They're alphabetical, too. I thought that was a very nice touch.
Yeah, I appreciate when Cliff does things like that.
I made a very nice spreadsheet. You should all be very
Because
jealous.
at one point, there was one game on here, I was like, where is this game? And then, I never know, we should debate this. If something starts with should it go in the T section?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I never know. Like, I've gone both ways throughout my life, and that came up one time.
Yeah,
but
Last of Us Part 2, no.
Right.
Doesn't fly.
I'd put it in L. But
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I just like spreadsheets.
Yeah. Either way, I found it, so that was what's important.
That's what's important. All right, first game is A Way Out. And we've talked about this one a couple times. E3 had a little bit of controversy at the Game Awards where one of its developers went crazy and started shouting expletives at, this is that prison breaking out a game co-op where you have to play it with another player. As of right now, it's coming out on March 23rd, so...
That's soon.
It's really soon. It is going to be a PlayStation, Xbox, Windows style game. And probably the coolest thing I know about it is that, first of all, it's not a $60 game. It's $30. And every game will come with I don't remember what they're calling it, like a co-op code, though. So if I buy this game and want to play it with Dylan does not have to buy this game. I buy it, give him the code. He can log in and play the entire game co-op with me and only spend $30. So I guess the way to look at this game to me is that this game only costs you and a friend $15 each.
That's like Don't Starve Together.
It
comes with a code when you buy it, which that's so cool. Like
back in the day, man, like Quake 3 and I want to say Unreal Tournament, some of those games that had really big online. Quake 3 was an online only game or a multiplayer only game, I guess. You could play it on a LAN. For every disc you had, you could install that on I think 2 or 3 other computers.
Oh really?
Yeah. So if like you and 3
discs.
buddies want to, well, it was on CD, but maybe DVD, maybe, probably CD. You can install it on those other computers, And I remember Descent. Do you remember that? Probably not. Descent was like a 3D. You were in a spaceship and flying through these underground tunnels. I bought that on CD, but it was only 15 megabytes.
That's so crazy. Like, how is that even a game?
Right?
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Anyway, A Way Out looks really good. That's one that I am 100% going to buy. I can't wait to play that. Probably with my brother. I think we'll probably give that a go. Maybe with Dylan. Maybe. He's got a really dumb hat on right now. We'll see.
I like warm ears.
Next game. I think I will nominate this for first game on our list that will not actually come out in 2018.
Okay.
Is Anthem. I think this is, what do we call this? Like a Destiny clone?
Okay.
It's the big reveal was, I want to say at E3 with that kind of had a really silly reveal trailer, but it's BioWare's, I think it's BioWare's jump into like games as a service. It's going to be that kind of sci-fi play with your friends online, persistent world kind of game. It looks really good. They're saying fall of 2018. I'm saying
next year.
I'm going to say summer 2019. Maybe. Could happen. I don't think so, though. PS4, Xbox, and Windows when it does come out. But I don't think so. But it looked awesome. I'll play it. I'll definitely play it. So.
To me, that sounds like Destiny with a better story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that might be kind of interesting to see what they do with.
I think Anthem could be one of those games, though, that, like, is one of those games that really, really, really takes advantage. I think it's going to be one of the first games we see that takes heavy advantage of the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. I mean, not the games out now that are gorgeous, but that really struck me as one of those ones that's really going to push a lot of envelopes. So, we'll see. Next game. Dylan and I have both played this one together, actually.
Together.
It is At Sundown.
Great party game. This is so much fun.
Yeah, it first got on my radar because Vinny played it at PAX East and told us about it. It's going to be a PS4, Xbox One, Windows game as well. The release date right now is 2018. My guess would be early 2018.
Yeah, it played well. I don't know what else they're doing.
Gonna do to it, yeah. It the kind of the idea of it is it's a 4-player versus game. They drop you into a level.
Yeah, it kind of like looks like a room in Clue or something.
Yeah,
kind of like has
a bunch of little, mostly
rooms,
passageways, but some rooms.
passageways.
And you get a choice of different weapons, and the kind of hook to it is other players can only see you when you fire, or if you sprint, or if you walk through light. So if you're very sneaky, you can sneak up on people and kill them, but you have to hope, you have to be very smart about when you shoot, because if you shoot, there's someone behind you, you are also dead.
It's super fun.
It's very fun. I am absolutely terrible at it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a game I would love to play for like our Extra Life Marathon next year, though, or this year, I guess.
Perfectly in there. So if I don't have it by Extra Life, I'm gonna be very, very sad.
We found out today Extra Life is November 3rd, so mark your
prepping.
calendars. Yeah, prepping. Next one is a game that I have played one of. I don't think you've played any of them, have you?
I have not.
Yeah, so I don't want to know if I want to say it's a huge surprise. Like, I think people kind of thought this might happen.
Yeah.
But Nintendo announced that Bayonetta 1 and 2 and 3 are all coming out for the Switch. So 1 and 2.
All this year.
And all this. Nah.
That was going to be one of mine. Maybe not. Because that seems like that's a lot.
Yeah. Bayonetta 1 and 2 are going to be out in 45 days. So
Excited
a little
for
less.
that.
February 16th. So if your girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other, husband, wife is looking for a good Valentine's present for you.
That's that soon?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I think your wife would like a copy of Bayonetta for Valentine's Day. Why not get her something where a girl who wears her hair as a suit and has guns in her boots? So
That's how I prefer life.
yeah, it's a real strange game. I've played the first one, like maybe the first hour. It is
Crazy.
absolutely crazy. I've yet to decide if it's good crazy or bad crazy. The second one was only ever released on the Wii U, I believe.
And I almost bought it about 900 times.
Yeah, I hear it's great. But you'll be able to get both of those, the new kind of HD remastered versions of them, I believe. Although the Wii U one may not need much remastering. But those will be out early, and then 3 is a 2018 release date. You can't see me. Maybe you can.
I think somewhere I saw December.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
And that pushes the end of the year real close. And then easily into the next year.
Yeah, I don't think that one's going to come. But, nothing wrong with some Switch titles. Next one is a game I played at PAX West. It's called Biomutant.
Man, it looks cool.
It looks really cool. And it plays great, too. You play as like a, I don't know, mutant raccoon fox hybrid thing. It's kind of an open world adventure-y game where you can kind of chain a bunch of different powers together. I don't know. It looks really interesting. It's kind of a game that I would really recommend just going and watching some trailers of it. I'm actually going to post this entire list on our website. Probably as you listen to this, it'll be available. I really enjoyed the game play of it I did play. It did crash halfway through my demo, so that's not great, but whatever. Coming out for all the systems, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows, 2018. This one's one of those maybes. I don't know. Anytime I see a release date of just this year sometime, I'm not super confident, but it was really cool. And I think one of my favorite parts about it was actually making my own character, because your character's always this kind of, like, I don't know, furry mutant trash panda, but you can actually, like, it was mostly sliders, like, do you want him to be furrier or not as furry? I'm like, of course I want him furrier.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Naked.
Some sort of little weird mole rat thing. No, it was cool. So watch for that maybe this year, maybe. Next one, Crackdown 3. Already been delayed once.
So hopefully
So they're saying spring 2018. This is an Xbox. I'm going to say Xbox exclusive. It's coming out for Windows as well. Terry Crew, for some reason, is heavily involved in the marketing of it. Cruz?
Yeah, Cruz. Because he looks like he could be a character from this game.
The E3 reveal for it was not good. It was a game that was supposed to really, really, really be showing off the Xbox One X, and it looked like maybe a 360 game.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have big, destructible environments that they then kind of pulled back and said, yeah, but only when you're playing online. I believe is one of those games that harnesses the power of the cloud.
Yeah, that was right.
To do things. So,
we'll see. I love Crackdown. I thought the first Crackdown was great. I didn't play the second one quite as much, but I loved it.
I've played neither of them. I hope, God, I would love it if this just game came out and just knocked it out of the park. That would be absolutely fantastic. But
I mean, it's a cool concept. You're like Robo super cop, and you can jump like a superhero and drive fast cars and kill the bad guys and just. I mean, it's awesome.
So pretty much just me in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like Saints Row without the.
I was just gonna say it sounds like Saints Row if you were the good guys.
Yeah, and without the the super zaniness to it. Like there's still a cheesy. I mean, it's Agents of Mayhem really kind of just was right in between Saints Row and.
So could we just get Saints Row 5 instead? Because that's what I really want. Because Agents of Mayhem was garbage.
Yeah.
Oh well. Spring 2018. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'm a big Xbox fan, so anything that can kind of pad out that, Xbox doesn't have any exclusives argument would be nice. Yeah. So we'll see. Next one, I haven't played at all any of them. Have you played any of the Darkstalkers games?
A little bit, but I've always really liked Darksiders.
Darkstalkers is a completely different game.
Just the look of it, and I like the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And this one time you play as. I can't remember.
She's a female character.
Yeah.
I don't remember who she is. She is like a player. She is like a mythological person.
She is
and she's been in the other games too. I believe.
Yeah, I think so. So one you play as War and Death, and then she is Fury or Rage or
that
Fury,
sounds right.
I think.
Fury. Yeah.
So there's one more that maybe Darksiders 4 will let you play as. I assume that's what's going on here.
Yeah. Now these were the first one or two were free recently on Games with Gold,
they've
right?
They've been free or super cheap, and because they've been out for a while.
Yeah.
But they're a solid beat 'em up, kind of in the God of War style with a cool theological, mythological element to it. Yeah. So it's a cool world. Apparently they play pretty fun. I mean, it's not...
It looks... I watched the trailer for it today, and it looks really cool.
Yeah,
so definitely something I'd like to try. Again, it's on all the big ones, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows. Coming out, again, that kind of 2018 year. So keep an eye on that. Next one, Dylan is super excited about this. Yep. I believe it is the only AAA game he played at PAX West this year.
Yes, and that's Detroit Become Human. A David Cage game from... the guy that did Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, is that what it is? The one with
this is your story,
Willem Dafoe and what's her face? Ellen Page, is that the one? I think. But very heavy storytelling, make choices, effective stories about artificial intelligence, and a cop and. The demo it's rough. It's rough. So just really looking forward to that.
This is one of those games that one of the two games at the Game Awards that had a very, very, very violent trailer. That, a lot of buzz around and.
We discussed that. Yeah. What was the other one?
Another game on this list, Last of Us 2.
Yeah, so, because it tackles very heavy themes, of
androids,
artificial intelligence and, domestic violence and that kind of thing, but...
It looks good. It looks really good.
It's going to be really good.
Cool. PlayStation 4 exclusive coming out. Well, this one's a 2018 release date that I actually think might be legit. This one's been around for a while, so...
I remember this getting teased, way back.
Yeah,
So
years. So hopefully this one actually comes out this year. Next up is Dreams, and this is a game that, like, I don't want to say it's off a bunch of people's radar because it's interesting because I hear game journalists talking about it all the time, but I rarely hear people talking about it. Are you familiar?
So this is the Little Big Planet people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like the style is just amazing.
It looks amazing, and so it's really a game about creating worlds and creating games and creating things for other people to interact with. So, like, all the content in it is actually made by people, or I think they're going to have some content creators, but that it's almost like if you've ever thought, oh, I want to make a game that does X, you can buy a copy of Dreams and make that thing. Maybe not a full-fledged game, but if you ever have I think it'd be fun to try out this. You could probably do it in Dreams. I've heard people say, like, oh, I want to do this. And they're like, okay, yeah. Oh, I want to do this. Okay, yeah. And I've seen some videos of what they've made with kind of the alpha and beta versions, and it's incredible. So, again, a game that was supposed to come out. I think it was supposed to go into beta last year. Didn't make it. They're saying 2018 now. We'll see. It did get featured pretty heavily at the Game Awards, and I think also at PSX. So maybe it is a PlayStation exclusive. Maybe it'll come out. It looks really cool. It's something that as someone who has thought in the past, like, man, I'd really like to learn how to make games, or I've got some ideas about things I'd like to build. I think that it's a game I could really, really get into. So
make your dreams come true.
Well, I mean, even just within Little Big Planet, like, or even Minecraft, people have been able to take the tools that they've given just as level making and, like, have made, like, calculators and made, simple computers and that kind of thing. So given that plus all these tools that are actually made for system creation, it'll be amazing to see what people can actually come up with it. So, I mean, even if you don't want to build things, you just want to play things other people have built, it'll be really cool to see what comes out of it. So, next step in this list is Far Cry 5, which, man, if you don't know what that is by now, you've been under a rock.
Right. And this one I think is definitely coming out soon.
Yes, it's already been delayed once.
Yeah, so.
Release date for this is March 27th, 2018, so a little less than 3 months. Coming out for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It's Far Cry in Montana, man.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's probably my second most anticipated game of the year. AAA big release. Anyway.
Right.
I have never played any other Far Cry game, so this is going to be my kind of like. I'm thinking of a way to phrase this that isn't crass. I can't. It'll be good. I'm very excited to try it out. So, a Far Cry game set in America, in a small town in Montana, with a crazy fundamentalist cult church.
It seems cool.
Looks real good.
Cool
Looks
game.
really, really good. And because of it today, I did get to post an article in our Facebook group that was titled, Far Cry 5's testicle roasting is just a part of the grand Far Cry fabric, says developer. If that doesn't make you want to play this game, nothing will.
I want to play it.
Yeah, that's good. Next one, I think, is probably Adam's most anticipated game of the year, I assume. I mean, it's got to be, right?
It has to be.
God of War. Not 4, just God of War.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another game that's coming out in 2018. Another PlayStation 4 exclusive. Rumors are that this might be actually a early 2018 game.
Yeah,
so
kind of come out of nowhere and just land soon.
Which is crazy because they've released very, 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 very little about it.
Because they probably don't need to, right? You put out God of War, it's going to fly out.
This will also be my first God of War game, unless I get my whatever together and play God of War 3.
Is this meant to kind of reboot the series at all?
Yeah, I think so, because it's
not like
different.
A true reboot, but
I think so, though, because different mythology. It's not set in kind of the Greek Roman mythology anymore. It's set in Norse mythology, which I just saw Thor. I'm down with that.
Yeah,
so
it should be really cool.
Yeah, it looks great. Your kid's in it. I've heard they've kind of excuse me. Are kind of playing with just the kind of general way things go in this game now. So it's going to be a little bit different. I expect it'll have a really good story. I think it'll just be interesting to see where they take it. Last God of War game was a while ago. God of War 3 was a PS3 game, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
They didn't even have they haven't had a PS4 least. Which is
We see how that one comes
Interesting.
out. I'm sure Adam will be excited. Next one is one I don't think we've talked about a ton here. It's called Hunt Showdown. Are you familiar?
Yeah, like, I don't know a lot of it's the new Crytek game, and
That is correct.
it looks really awesome. But the thing about Crytek games is they always look
Really awesome.
and I hate Crysis.
I've never played Crysis.
So
I've never had a
Crysis-
computer fast enough to run Crysis.
My understanding, yes,
Yeah.
Crysis is was the definitive game to show off
Oh, yeah.
how beautiful your PC
Back
is.
in the day.
But man, that game sucked.
Yeah.
Like, it was the most linear shooter imaginable with nothing interesting about it.
Yeah, so-
it was pretty, but man, it stunk.
So this game was actually picked by, I think, PC Gamer as Game of Show for PAX West. Unfortunately, I did not see it there, so I don't know. The idea behind it is, let's see, 5 teams, with each team having up to 2 players, go into like a Louisiana swamp that is populated by creatures, we'll say, of some sort of supernatural bend. And each of those teams' goal is to kill that creature, steal its stuff, its essence, its whatever, and then get out of the map without getting killed. And so everybody else's goal in that game is to do the same thing. And so that means if Team A kills the creature and has its essence, now everyone else's goal is to kill Team A. And so much like PUBG, when you shoot, when you attack, when you kill, when you make all these decisions is based entirely on, is now the right time to do that? Do I kill the creature now when I'm on the far side of the map and it's going to be hard for me to escape? Do I, preemptively kill Team B? Do I, and maybe alert Team C and D to where I am? And it's dark and it's gloomy and it's very
Looks
atmospheric.
Beautiful too.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sounds like an interesting game. I read a bunch about it today, and didn't come away with much, to be honest.
Right. I think this is still very mysterious.
It's going into early access in 2018. They say it's going to be in early access for at least a year. They also kind of imply that it might be free to play and monetized via cosmetics. So
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I don't know.
It seems like such an interesting. Immediately when I saw it, I kind of thought of Evolve.
Yeah.
And that kind of game where it's this like different team-based kind of game, but it sounds like it's something that might work better than the 4v1 thing, which has proven to be kind of hard to really tackle and really figure out how to make that work.
I'm just intrigued that it's kind of like PvPvE,
Right.
because the creature is computer controlled too.
Right.
So
And I love that idea because something that like I want from a game like PUBG is to have the environment play against you too.
yeah.
Whether that's through like severe weather changes or I don't know, something in the environment that it like creates circumstances rather than just this is the
Could
circle
you imagine
closing.
how cool it could be if that game had like kind of like some sort of AI or some sort of thing to like? I mean, that game, PUBG is already so good at creating stories within a game that has absolutely no story.
Right.
Like, if you added just that extra layer, that could
Yeah,
be cool.
yeah, it might not take much necessarily. I mean, like think of like a volcano erupting though. Like what that would do to like this
The
part
landscape.
of the map is gone,
Yeah.
or like you can't go here anymore. I mean, similar to the circle, but it's there's a reason for it to be there
Yeah.
rather than just this omniscient being
Weird
that just
thing. Yeah.
closes you in and forces you
I
together.
could see that. That'd be cool.
So like this really strikes something within me that's very interested about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. It's I'm having a really hard time right now telling if it's something I'd like or won't like, just because there's just not that much out there.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be cool regardless, I hope. But
yeah, we will see.
it seems like something that's gonna be right up my alley though. So.
Yeah, looks like we're about halfway through the list, so we'll keep going. Next one is Kingdom Hearts 3, which again
Is another finally?
maybe
Maybe?
like they released a trailer with 2018 in it, so I mean that that is as big as a promise as you can be with video editing, I guess. So, I mean, 13 years now. Wow. I hope with everything, I hope that game actually comes out.
Right.
It's supposed to come out on the Xbox and the PlayStation. It'll be the first game that is not, first mainline Kingdom Hearts game that is not a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah. I mean, man, it looks beautiful.
Oh god, it looks so good. The Toy
Which is so
Story
weird
level.
to think from because it was PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're making that jump.
Have you seen any of the videos that compare the Toy Story level to Toy Story the movie?
No, I haven't seen
It's
that.
crazy.
That's
It looks better.
'Cause, it looks like that. When I saw the trailer, I was like, what?
Yeah. So that's probably one of my, I don't know. I've been burned so many times by Kingdom Hearts that
Right. You don't want to get your hopes up.
yeah. We'll see. I hope so. Next one is Metro Exodus. I've seen 2 trailers for this. One at E3, one at the Game Awards. The E3 one looked absolutely incredible. The one at the Game Awards looked okay. I've not. Have you played any of the Metro games?
I played demos, I think. It's something I've always wanted to play, but it's not. It's not too high on the list of priorities.
Yeah.
So I'm sure one day I have them downloaded on my Xbox.
Yeah.
I just need to play it.
Yeah. So it looks. I mean, graphically, it is one of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen. It's absolutely stupendous looking. Coming out PS4, Xbox, and Windows sometime in 2018. I think it's going to be one of those games that I'll probably rent, just because I don't have any history with it. But man, it looks good. It looks super good. All right, I'm going to try not to die. Next one, Monster Hunter World. PS4, Xbox, and Windows coming out very soon.
Yeah.
Today is the 2nd. You'll hear this today's the 3rd. You'll hear this on the 4th. So 22 days from now. Yeah. Did you play any of the demo?
No, I have a buddy that's been playing it though. But man, this game looks pretty.
It looks really. This is actually the exact opposite. The E3 demo for this was like, I don't even know what's happening. Why is that guy chopping at a dinosaur with a giant sword? What is going on here? The demo is terrible. The actual game looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I've not played any of the Monster Hunters. Have you?
I have a little bit, but I think what this Monster Hunter does is make the game look good.
Yeah.
Which is something that we played on the Wii U or the Wii, it's just gonna this game pulls you in when you see it. And
is it coming out on the Switch too?
I don't think so. I think that's probably gonna get something
later
because obviously this game looks like it takes.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was coming out on the Switch, but yeah, it looks awesome. It looks really cool. I don't. Again, this is probably a rent game for me because I want to kind of see if I like the gameplay loop and see for a series for a series that's old that I've never played.
Right.
That's what I'd like to try out.
I did play it a little bit, and I think it takes a certain type of person. It's kind of I think more targeted to someone who enjoys an MMO where you're hunting and gathering
I do
and
like
doing
MMOs.
that and recycling that. So whole thing, go fight this big monster. But I mean, if you love big monsters and big swords, this game is for you. So
it's a kind of a year of big monsters. We'll get to Shadow of the Colossus later, but it's a big monster year. Next up is Ooblets, which is a game I'm very excited about. I did play this at ID at Xbox, actually, right before PAX West. It's like a cross between Pokemon and Animal Crossing, except you plant your Pokemon.
So it's kind of like Pikmin 2?
Yeah, with a little Stardew Valley mixed in. Super adorable, really cute. All the critters have super fun names. It's kind of an indie game that got pulled a little bit higher. I think it's going to release in the ID. Well, I mean, obviously it's part of the ID at Xbox thing, so it's going to be a simultaneous Xbox and Windows release. So kind of one of those quasi Xbox exclusive games. It's just fun. It's goofy. It's got really that kind of Stardew Valley, even maybe a little bit Slime Rancher vibe. I really, really, really liked it. And it's got just this crazy, apart from the game, the community around that game and the developer of that game are just such fun interesting people. So definitely one I want to try out. Next game. I wish Adam was here because I think this is. My boss just walked by wearing a hat that's even dumber than Dylan's, which is hard.
My hat's not dumb.
This, I think, is probably going to be Adam's game of the year. I don't know, maybe tied with Gods of War.
Yeah.
Assuming it comes out. I don't think so. Ori and the Will of the Wisps announced at E3 this year with a piano. Do you remember that? Where they, like, literally it was like dude live playing a giant classical grand piano over, oh God, the score sounds amazing. Over a little bit of a kind of trailer for the game. I'm guessing that's actually going to be a 2019 game, unless they really, 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 really push it to get out this year, just because Xbox needs another exclusive. So, but man, the first game was so good. I love it. The soundtrack for Ori is amazing. I listen to it all the time. So, I think Ori will be one to look forward to, and the Will and the Wisps. One, we've not talked about a lot of Switch games here.
No.
I don't think it's because there aren't a lot coming out. I think it's just that I think Nintendo pushed a lot of stuff into this year.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be maybe more of a third-party year for the
Right.
Switch. And also, like, the Switch has been, like...
They say, hey, this game's coming out next month.
Exactly.
Or in 3 months, this game's hidden. So I think they're getting people excited about stuff right before they put it out, and that's their strategy. So
This next game's actually one that was announced at the Nintendo launch event in... Let's see, the Switch came out in March, and so I think this was in the January launch event. It was a game, at the time I didn't know what it was called, but it is actually called Project Octopath Traveler, although they are calling that the terrible name.
Terrible.
If it makes you feel better, they are referring to that as the working title of the game right now.
It's a good choice.
It's a good choice. Made by Square. It's
Enix?
Square Enix, yes.
That?
Yes. Did you know that they used to be two companies?
Yeah.
Squaresoft and Enix, and then
Right.
they combined to make one. I think I knew that, but...
Yeah, I think because I played a lot of Squaresoft games at some point.
Yeah.
I think this is Time Splitters.
It could be.
Was
I don't know.
Squaresoft.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, Square is always Final Fantasy, and Enix is always... oh, crap, those games that they made. They're real good. Role-playing games, very much like Final Fantasy. Anyway, this is neither of those games. It's a Switch game that has this really cool depth of field effect on it. Like, I don't know what to call it besides that. I guess if you're like
it's the
like tilt shift.
Yeah, it's kind of what's that word?
Unless you're a photographer or a videographer, I don't know if this will help you at all. But go watch a video of it, or actually, there's a free demo of it. Go download the demo and play it. I have no idea why they released a demo for a game months before it came out, but it's fun. And it looks so cool, and it looks so cool on the Switch, and it really just makes me want to play A Link to the Past on the Switch, to be honest, but I'll take what I can get. Next, I think this is going to be my personal game of the year for 2018. Thoughts?
Yes.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I love cowboys.
Still just with a 2018 date. Was supposed to release, I believe last year, has been pushed back once.
As Rockstar does.
Yeah. So I think,
But man, they deliver.
I want this game right now, but I'm willing to accept the fact that
I need to.
I'd rather
myself.
have it be good.
I need my body to be ready by the time this comes out, so I
Right?
need to start preparing.
Yeah. So I mean, what can you say? PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It looks. I keep saying it looks absolutely incredible, but I don't know if they've actually given us enough information to know if it looks incredible or not. It probably
It's
doesn't
going to
matter.
look
It's going to
great.
be incredible.
Man, I'm so excited.
It's going to have an online component like GTA does. Hopefully, it's better than GTA Online's online stuff.
I had fun with Red Dead Redemption Online.
Wait, there was one for two?
Yeah.
Or the first one,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like GTA Online Lite. I think that's the best way to explain it.
Interesting.
Like you could ride around with your buddies and shoot people off horses.
Do you know how many horses I accidentally killed in that game?
2.
Oh. There's a pile of dead corpses. Like, I was very notorious for going like, okay, bad guy, boom.
Boom.
Okay, bad guy, boom. Okay, bad guy. Oh, I just shot my horse in the back of the head.
Oh, jeez.
Your
own horse.
I accidentally ran them off cliffs.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I was like the exact opposite of the horse whisperer. I was the horse murderer.
Yeah.
It's not good. Super excited about that game. That's a day one purchase for me. Next one, March 20th, 2018, we will finally get to play Sea of Thieves. Xbox One, Windows exclusive, air quotes exclusive. I've been in the preview program for this for, 10 months. I haven't played it lately, which is dumb because I think everyone else is in the preview program. I waited for months and months and months for everyone else to get in the preview for this, and then everyone's in it now and we haven't played it yet. So. Did you not sign up?
I ain't signed up. I haven't.
If you signed up, you should have it. You should double check your email, yo.
Maybe I signed up late. I don't know.
I think if you signed up before December 1st, you're in. So, I don't know. Anyway, it's a pirate game, 4-player pirate adventure.
It looks cool.
It looks really cool. I'm a little nervous about how long they can string along for pirate adventure, because the alpha or beta or whatever I'm playing in doesn't really give you a lot of what kind of the story is or what your missions are. Right. It's just kind of like, I don't know, go find some treasure, it'll be fun.
I guess that's what being a pirate is, right?
Yeah, kind of. I'm just hoping that there's a little more to it than that. So definitely has a lot of promise. It's probably my kids' most anticipated game of 2018, so I will be buying it regardless, I guess. Yeah. Should be good, and it's a little less than 3 months away. Next up, we got a bunch of PlayStation 4 exclusives in the last, kind of 6 or 8 games we're talking about here. First up is Shadow of the Colossus, which is real soon. It's about a month from now, February 6th, 2018. Did you play the original PS2 game?
I have not played this. This is
either.
a game that's I always wanted to play, but I didn't know about it at the time.
Same.
At some point, you just don't go back and play games that old.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly what I've heard about it, is that it's an amazing game, but has a lot of gameplay problems, has a lot of control problems, and this is cool because this is not an HD remaster. This is a from the ground up rebuild it with modern cameras and modern gameplay and modern everything, but the exact same game. So it's the same monsters, the same levels, right. The same everything. So it's really as if they were building it from scratch, but just making a game that's already been made. So, coming out real soon. Super excited about that. Another pirate game, Skull and Bones.
If you want realistic, gritty pirates, then this is the alternative to Sea of Thieves.
It looks really interesting. There was a preview for it at E3, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's what I remember seeing it.
And it's supposed to be kind of an adventure role-playing game where you are, in command of a pirate ship and you swashbuckle and shoot other ships.
Board ships and shoot cannons and
it graphically
swab the poop deck.
Don't do that. Graphically, it looks absolutely incredible. I think it's going to be one of those kind of games that, first of all, I'm not 100% sure that's going to be a 2018 release. We'll see. But also, I think there's a lot to be seen yet for what the actual gameplay is going to be like. But just based on that initial trailer, it looked fun. It looked
exciting.
Really, really fun. So I'm all down for that. Another PlayStation. So that one is PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Windows. Next one is PlayStation 4 exclusive, Spider-Man. Yeah. So another game that had a huge E3 trailer that a lot of people seem to be very excited about. Yeah. I am not so sure about it. It looked very quick time eventy, which is
not
something I'm not really down for. It's by Insomniac, who has a pretty good history of making great games. Right. So I'm hopeful. And man, there's nothing I'd like more to have an awesome web slinging through the city kind of game. I love Spider-Man. Love superheroes. Spider-Man's awesome. So I want this game to be really, really, really good. But man, that trailer didn't do it for me. So we'll see. It looked very, very scripted. We'll see. But that is a big one. It's, again, a 2018 release. We'll see.
Hopefully they were just showing you a scene that was just so large in scope, and that's how they decided to tackle it, was with QuickTime events.
That's what I'm really
terrible,
hoping.
And all games should have a button that allows you to turn them
Oh,
off.
good lord, right? Next up, State of Decay 2. I have not played State of Decay 1. Have you?
I have not, but I've been interested too. It looks fun.
Yeah, definitely. Coming out, again, 2018. It's an Xbox One, Windows, quote-unquote, exclusive. I don't know much about it, though. Do you?
No, I don't. It's been one of those things that I was like, I see it on sale or something, and I'm like, hey, maybe that sounds fun. Because it's kind of a, what is it? It's like it's a survival, post-apocalyptic.
Gamey.
The word is slipping me, but it's kind of like, this is...
Oh, this is the one with all the zombies. And
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this does look really cool.
And I've heard people love the first one, and it has been kind of remastered.
And it's got like some kind of base building and some strategy. Yeah, no, I remember seeing this. It does look really interesting. I don't know, zombie post-apocalyptic games aren't always my jam, but sometimes they are.
To me, they kind of ran their course, so
yeah,
it's
we'll
almost a little late to the punch, but at the same time, it's always fun, like in Dead Rising. Like, however many times you go back to the game, it's like cutting your way through swaths of zombies is always
I have
fun.
not played that yet, but I really, really want to. I've almost picked up 4 a handful of times. So, next up is a game that 2018 maybe PlayStation 4 exclusive, The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
The game, Dylan was not sure if it started with a T or an L.
Yep.
I have actually not even watched the trailer for this yet because I'm
just gonna play it.
I'll be honest, I have not beat The Last of Us Part 1 yet, so we'll get there. I need to beat that, and I'm very excited. I mean, The Last of Us, man, that intro. That game's a heart-wrenching, like, just the loss and man, so many people die.
Yep.
But God, it's good, and I love the relationship between Ellie, right?
Yes.
And
Joel.
Sure. Guy that's not her dad
Right.
that acts like her dad. It's a great game, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. I'm not a firm believer in 2018 for that one, but as of right now,
if it comes out, there's not much more to say.
No,
you're gonna play it. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. Next game, that was also one of those games that had a super, super gory. It wasn't E3. It was it Paris Games Week trailer?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Paris because it wasn't. That's right.
Next game, Dylan and I both played this at PAX West. It was UFO 50.
Yeah.
This is a cool idea. It's being built by the dude who made Spelunky and a bunch of his game developer buddies that have made some other pretty cool games. The idea is that there was a game development company called UFO in the probably 80s that kind of made a bunch of games, then went out of business, and then someone kind of discovered one of those like 50-in-1 carts with a bunch of games that they'd made, and so these are all like think of them as maybe not quite full-size games, but like 75% of the size of a full-size game, and they're in every single genre. We played like a platformer, and we played
a game where you like launch walruses.
The walrus launching game.
Through the clouds.
And there was a soccer game, but there's going to be adventure games and role-playing games, and there's going to be 50 of them. And it's coming out on the PC, and it's very retro, 16-bit games, and it's really fun. It very much looks to me like a bunch of developers are like, man, if I could make any game and didn't have to worry about whether it would sell or not, I'd make this game.
Yeah.
And it kind of feeds into that kind of late 80s, early 90s, more late 80s, where you could make a game like Attack of the Mutant Camels and go like, oh yeah, people will buy this. And it was fun. The stuff we played was fun. Some of it's got about a third of it's multiplayer, so something to look out for. I think it's going to be pretty cheap too. Another game that I played at PAX West. I don't think you
I
did.
watched you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's called Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. We've talked about it before. It's coming out very soon. It was actually supposed to be a 2017 game. I think their Steam page actually still says 2017.
That's not true anymore.
That's not true anymore. It's actually made by I didn't realize it until relatively recently. When the studio that made Gone Home and Tacoma formed, it was formed by three people: Steve Gaynor, and then another person I can never remember her name, and another guy, and I can never remember his name. And the guy who's making Where the Water Tastes Like Wine is that third guy from Gone Home. So he was a developer on Gone Home, and then he split off to make this game. He was a former Bioshock developer that then went to make Gone Home, and then is making Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. This game's written by 25 different writers, and each writer contributed a set of stories to it. And the idea is you are traveling across the United States, gathering stories in kind of an oral storytelling tradition, and then using those stories to advance the game. You collect these stories and then tell them to
people who you think would enjoy those stories, so they give you something that can progress you forward in that world.
It's a really, really, really interesting mechanic. The game visually is really cool and really interesting. The soundtrack is absolutely incredible. Very indie. Like this is an indie game. Like you know, this is never gonna EA was never gonna publish this game, but I think I'm gonna love the crap out of it. Coming out on Windows, my guess would be in the next 2 or 3 months. They haven't said that, but just based on kind of what I've heard, I think that's about what we're talking. Last game is a game that was completely off my radar. Have you seen this at all?
Nope.
Yoshi. Apparently they're making a new Yoshi game, and it looks absolutely freaking adorable. Obviously,
Yoshi
Switch.
Does.
Yeah.
Adorable.
It's a very kind of cartoon, or not cartoony, kind of that yarny looking Yoshi. I don't think it is actually a yarn Yoshi, but,
but it kind
of small and fuzzy.
Look, yeah.
The idea, like the entire level looks like it's made, I don't know, by like a 12-year-old with cardboard and crayons and yarn. And they made like a diorama in the background, but Yoshi can walk in and out of those. So there's a front side and a back side to every level. It looks so cute. It looks absolutely. I mean, it's a Yoshi game. It's exactly.
I loved Yoshi Story on the N64.
And it's literally called Yoshi.
Yeah, as it should be.
Nintendo Switch game coming out 2018 sometime. It's at this point probably my most anticipated Switch game. I'm sure there are others. Like I'm very excited.
Yeah, was that really like the only Switch game on here?
You know, and I kind of realized after I'd written the list that there weren't a ton of Switch games on the list. I'm sure there are a lot of great Switch games coming out. I think they're actually doing another Nintendo Direct this month, so I'm sure we're going to see a bunch more Switch stuff come down. It just hasn't. They've been playing their release schedule kind of a lot closer to the vest than you'd think they would.
I love when I don't have to anticipate a game for 18 months.
Wolfenstein New Colossus is coming out for the Switch this year.
Ooh.
That's probably not where you want to play that game.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's what you got, do it.
Yeah.
So that is our list of 28 games that you can play on the Switch this year. Yeah. If it was kind of interesting going through because I went through our list from the same list that we did for 2017, our most anticipated games of 2017, and I think there was 24 games on that list, and at least 6 of them did not come out in 2017, so they got pushed. If even 20 of these games releases in 2019, it's going to be a really, 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 I'm going to say really one more time, good year.
Really.
I'm excited.
Strong.
All right, I'm going to cough a lot. Because I'm sick, I'm on cough drop number 3.
It's a lot of cough drops.
It's a lot of cough drops, and I can still, my throat's a mess. We're going to answer some questions real fast, and then we're going to call this a day. Question number 1 is from...
Hey, yo, Vinny. What up?
So I learned over the weekend that there was a Vinny on Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Does he talk like this Vinny talks?
I don't know about this Vinny. This Vinny's more like a Sylvester Stallone Vinny.
Interesting. I need to find some... I've never seen the Jersey Shore. I need to find this Vinny and compare him to your Vinny and see where they cross over.
Is Vinny the abs guy? I think he was the abs guy. I don't know.
I don't have any idea. What was
Vinny was the one that people actually liked because I think he was like the nice guy.
I don't know. This weekend he was explaining climate change to the president. So
oh really?
On Twitter, yeah.
That's
nice guy.
That's the kind of guy.
Who was the guy that didn't have a name? He was like
the Situation.
The Situation. My wife didn't realize the Situation was actually a person. She thought that was like a band or something.
That's funny.
I liked it. Yeah. Anyways, Vinny's question is: gaming is on the uprise, and 2017 proves that. Some that would say it was arguably the best year of gaming due to vast amounts of innovative games were released in the past year in various different genres. Like I said, 2006 was very good. Our friend Hans was arguing for 1981.
I was not alive.
Games can exist without you.
So I can't put in 2 cents or any cents.
What games of 2018 do you feel will continue to innovate the gaming industry as a whole? If not a specific game, how about a company or potentially even a new technology? Thoughts?
Whew.
It's good.
To me, I think it's about giving gamers what they want, I think. Whether that's like the games like Destiny and just different ways to play games. Whether that's an ongoing game or a shorter game with a great story that doesn't have unnecessary multiplayer that took time to develop and to be more focused. And I think we see more of that with like multiplayer online specific games. They do one thing and they do it well. Yeah. And I think that's kind of, to me, what the future of games is. And I think we see a lot of that with good indie games, too, that they tell you good stories in a short amount of time that don't have extraneous parts to them. And I think digital distribution has helped kind of do that. So
one thing that I'm hoping we see more of this year, and honestly, looking at that list, I'm not super hopeful for it, but who knows, is more what people have been dubbing AA games. Games like Rhyme, or games like, Senua Sacrifice. What's the main part of that called? Hellblade, thank you. Games that are made by big teams, but not AAA 1,000-person teams that are 6 to 10 hours long. That just they get in, they say, "Here's the story we're telling." You go in and you're done. Like that's the game I want to play in 2018. Is the 6 to 12 hour game that. I don't know what to do with that. Adam's phone rang.
It's gonna keep ringing.
I marked it though.
We'll cut this out.
Games that, provide content, but that don't require me to put 60 hours into them.
Right.
I'd love to see more of that in 2018. And like I said, looking at that list, that's not what's on that list.
Right.
But,
because I think that those games don't get the kind of hype that these games do. These are the big.
But I mean, man, there's something awesome about paying $30-$40 for a game, getting in 8 hours, 10 hours, and just, you're done. Doesn't need DLC, doesn't need, all these things. And I also think that hopefully 2018 is a year where we continue to see a lot of innovation in VR. Obviously, I paid a bunch of money for one of those silly hats, and I'd like to keep seeing content. Because I think that, man, there's something there. I don't think people have quite figured out what it is yet, but it's coming. It's maybe 2018 will be the year, but maybe 2020 is going to be the year of VR.
Yeah.
So people need to keep experimenting, figuring out how to let people run without throwing up. The little things.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it kind of reminds me of, in a way, that game development has kind of caught up and allowed people that aren't the blockbuster studios to make good games because they have an idea. Similar to the way movies do the same thing and have done for a while. To me, when a movie like Reservoir Dogs came out, or Pulp Fiction, is that wasn't a big Hollywood movie. That was a guy with an idea who he was prepared to make this money for, I can't remember, $30,000 or something. And then luckily Harvey Keitel jumped on board and was able to help get $1 million or so to make this movie, and it ended up being great. But it was a guy with a passion and a vision, and was able to make that happen.
Yeah.
And games have come to a point where those kind of things happen, and that's what challenges the industry, right? Is like, you're only as good as your competition.
Yeah.
You don't have to raise the bar if you are the bar, right?
I love what's happening in the indie space right now. And that was something that wasn't on the list we just talked about very much. Like, there were some indie games in there, but not probably as many as there could have been. So,
right.
Because I think if you open up that floodgate, man, you could go on forever. Right. So, next question from Jill Coleslaw again. Actually, you know what? I'm going to push this one till next week because I think Adam's going to want to be here for this. So
this is definitely an Adam
It's a
question.
good question, Joe. But we're going to let Adam comment on this one, and so I'm going to skip straight over to my friend Mansocks. What is your favorite type of cereal, Dylan?
Bootios.
That's not a real cereal.
Yeah, it is.
You've never eaten Bootios.
I haven't yet. I haven't bought a box. They sell them at FYE.
Oh.
The New Day on WWE, they have Bootios. They have their own cereal. He's at a loss for words.
I like Crave. It's real good. I like the Reese's peanut butter cereal.
Oh, Reese's Puffs are
real good.
Real good.
Right? Yeah. So.
Actually, like Fruity Pebbles, man.
Oh, Fruity Pebbles are awful.
What?
Those are not good.
No, Fruity Pebbles are great. I like a lot of cereals.
Yeah, I'm actually I like most of the cereals.
Yeah.
You know what cereal I do not like, though, is Golden Grahams. Like, my kid adores Golden Grahams.
Oh,
yeah,
my brother does
awful.
too.
Not like, that's not fair. They're not awful.
They're awful.
But like
if you want to eat cardboard, go ahead.
So interesting enough, Mansocks' favorite Mansocks', I don't know how to pluralize that name. Favorite cereal is Rice Krispies. I'm like, that's terrible choice. He's like,
boring.
No, you like
With
throw in
sugar?
like a ton of sugar and milk. I'm like, well,
That's not really fair. I can just
Isn't
why
that
don't
just
I pour
frosted Rice
sugar
Krispies then?
in my milk
Yeah.
and eat that?
Anyway, Rice Krispies are good for making Rice Krispie treats. That's all.
Right. Honeycombs are also delicious.
Yeah, honeycombs
I
okay.
haven't
They're a
had
little
those in a
big.
while,
I wish
but-
honeycombs were a little smaller.
Yeah.
But I like almost all the cereals. I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of like the plain ones, but like it's, you know, since you add a little bit of sugar or frosting on there, I'm good.
Sometimes Honey Bunches of Oats are good too.
Yeah, I like those.
Those
I also really like
healthy cereals.
mucilized cereal, like cereal with flakes and a bunch of weird nuts and crap in them. Those are good. Finally, we're going to talk cheap free games. They're like, I think everyone gave away all the games they were going to give away in December. And I swear to God, every day I'd come in, they're like, "Hey, have a free game." I'm like, "Thanks." So the big one we're going to talk about this week is the Humble Staff Picks bundle, which isn't great. Or more just like I'm not familiar with many of the games on it, but if you've never played BioShock Infinite, you can get it for $5.92 right
like
this
a
second.
Good deal.
Yeah, so BioShock Infinite for less than $6, and you'd also get a game called Tempest and Leet, Punch Club, Origami, Beholder, and then BioShock Infinite. If you want to pay $12, you can get some game called Shenzhen IO.
Yeah.
Anyway, sports charity. Charity's good.
Do it.
Do it. They're
you
supporting
want
water,
to.
which I believe gives water to developing countries, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, that is us for this week. We'll be back next week. We should have a fully functioning Adam. Hopefully I'll not be sick and coffee by then. I make no promises. But for now, you can find us at Bite Me, BYTE, Me Podcast on all of your favorite social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Mixer. As soon as I can talk again, I got all sorts of fun mixery toys for Christmas this year.
Gonna mix it up.
I got a new microphone I'm excited to try. So I'm going to be trying to stream a couple times a week shortly in the very, very early morning and very, very late night. So subscribe there. You'll be able to see when I go online. Let's see, where else can you find us? We have a Facebook group that is, we're kind of doing some stuff in. It's kind of cool, too, because with a Facebook group, you can post things as well. So, like, you know, you can just look at our Facebook page, but if you join our Facebook group, you can throw cool games at us, cool articles, cheap deals, that kind of stuff. That's actually, you know, all content is created by all of us, so that's a fun place to go. We do have a Discord that is full of shiny, happy people. It's been a little quieter on Christmas, so if you
Yeah.
came in and it was a little dead, it was just because we were all on vacation or tired or hiding in a closet because
Yeah, I
it was
think
Christmas.
hiding.
I spent a lot of my Christmas hiding in a closet, I'll be honest. So come hang out on our Discord. But until next week,